You going live here? Got it. We are streaming in the Facebook group. What's up, guys? We are live on, oh, wrong way. Live on air. I always get that wrong. One day I will get that right. Okay, so first off, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We've got quite a bit of people in the meeting. If you're currently watching this live in the Facebook group, and you want to be able to join the meeting and ask questions yourself at the very end so I can get a little bit more personalized and help you guys get started. If you go to the pinned announcements, you will find the meeting link there. You can join in the meeting. I'll let you in as we go. All right, for those of you that are currently watching, I'm going to go through a very basic way of how I help my clients figure out how to start with meal planning. And then from there, build from there, answer your questions that you specifically have, what you guys specifically trust or you struggle with at the very end. So if you want to wait a little bit to the end, that's where we can do some Q&A and we can even help each other out. It's a beautiful thing about community. Okay, so here is some house cleaning that I want to go over before we go into meal planning. Okay, so in this training, I'm going to teach you how you can create your own meal plan. Okay, I'm not going to just give meal plans. If you have known me for a while, you probably already know this. If you're new to this and just getting to know me, I hate meal plans. I hate cookie cutter approaches because they don't work. And I understand it's attractive to have something just tell you what you need to be doing. You don't even have to think about it. Trust me. I'm the queen of being lazy, right? But here's the thing is that meal plans don't work long term. Yes, they make it very simple and easy, but it now creates a what now effect, right? What if life happens? What if you want to try new food? What if Timmy has a birthday party and you want to go celebrate that, but it doesn't fit in the meal plan? And so now you feel like it's all or nothing thinking. It's either you follow the meal plan or you're off the meal plan and you failed, right? So it's really instilling a lot of poor behavior patterns that keep people within yo-yo dieting. And it also feeds codependence rather than independence. Okay. It's whether it's like either you are on a meal plan for the rest of your life or you're not on a meal plan and now you don't know what to do. Right. I would rather teach you how to create your own meal plan that incorporates foods that you prefer, that incorporates foods that works best for you, but also allows you to be flexible and adaptable because as a busy person, or if you're a parent, or if you're on the go, meal plans don't apply. For a short period of time, you might be able to control the majority of your circumstances, but either life will happen, like the holidays, you're traveling, you get sick, all these different things, or you get sick of it because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. We need flexibility, we need adaptability for it to be a long-term solution. And we're here for the long term. All right. We're all here to get lifelong change, become the CEO of your own health. So we need to learn independence. So learning how to create your own meal plan allows you to be very independent. You don't need to rely on somebody else to do it for you. You can eventually do it on your own. And it allows you, again, to go with the ebbs and flows of life because they will always happen. Okay. Here is another house cleaning thing. Okay. There's so many different ways to skin the cat. Okay. So many ways to do this. And there's so many different philosophies on how to do this as well. And what you will find is over a period of time, what works for you may not work for a lot of people. And even then, what works for you now may not work for you a couple years from now because we evolve and we go. For example, what you were doing for parents before you had kids versus now, like it's unrealistic to expect you're going to go back to what you're doing before because it no longer applies. You have a completely different life. You are a completely different person. So your methods need to evolve as you evolve as a person. So you'll see that you'll find ways that work for you now. And then from there, as you evolve and grow, you're going to have to adapt and adjust for that to happen as well. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to give you a really, really solid foundation. I'm going to go over the basics, but a lot of you guys are looking for chef status. Okay. How do I figure it out that's best for me? But understand chefs, they break all the rules and it works for them and they're phenomenal for it. Right. But in order for somebody to get to a chef status, they have to go through the basics. They either go to school for it or they get an apprenticeship or things like that. But every single one of those people go through the basics, the absolute basics, but not only go through the basics, they master the basics. And after they master the basics, they're able to break the rules and figure out what works best for them. But they need a solid foundation. So think of it this way: is I'm going to help you get to mastering the basics, so that way, eventually, you can learn how to break all the rules. Incorporate your favorite foods, go out to eat a lot, things like that. Be able to be more flexible and adaptable, have fancier recipes, right? So this is going to be a solid foundation for you to start off with. And then from there, you can learn how to break the rules that work best for you. Okay, so this is going to be very simple, but I think that you guys are going to love the simple, because when it's overcomplicated, we're usually like, screw it. So I'm going to keep it nice and simple. And then if you have more intricate questions, we'll go over it at the end and figure out what works best for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share with you a common guide that I use when I'm coaching my own clients. I'm going to pull it up here. And it's basically just like a meal planning guide. Right, and I'll walk you through it too. Just a second. Your screen, there you go. And here it is. Okay, can you guys see that? Is that easy to see? I hope so. If you can't see it, put it in the chat box, but I'm hoping that you guys can see that. Okay, so meal planning guide right here. Nice and simple. When you can create your own meal plan, this allows you to be flexible and adaptable, figure out what works best for you rather than trying to do what works for other people, another cookie cutter approach that just yields very short-term results when we're actually looking for long-term results. Okay. So step number one, keeping it nice and simple, is we're going to just establish how many times that you eat in a day. And if you're wondering, okay, what's best for that? What can you be consistent at? What do you enjoy? Right? There are some people that eat 3 times a day. There's some people that eat 4 times a day, right? There's some people that eat 5 or 6, okay? It just all depends on what is going to be applicable for you, what you're going to enjoy, and your goals, okay? But first and foremost, it's going to be what is going to be consistent for you. I have some people that they're like, I've been taught that I have to eat 5, 6 meals every single day, but I'm busy as hell, and making that many meals is just tedious, and I don't want to do it, and it's very hard for me to do it in a busy day. Okay, great. Do 3 meals a day. Let's say somebody struggles to eat enough every single day, and eating 3 large meals every single day just isn't doable for them. Okay, great. Break it up into a little bit of smaller meals. The big picture is that it just needs to be what you can be consistent at with your schedule, your goals, your preferences, what you feel best with, and more. Okay, we're all going to be different. Okay, big bottom line is, it doesn't matter how many times that you eat in a day, as long as you hit your overall goals, whatever those goals are. Okay, in this case, we're going to count meals or like snacks as just small meals, just to make it very simple in our brain, not overcomplicating things. If you eat a snack, that we're going to call it a meal. Okay, it's just a smaller meal. Okay, so for example, I typically eat 3 big meals and 1 little snack. That's usually what I'm super consistent on and I feel best on throughout the day. When I was an athlete, I did eat more often. But now that I'm not an athlete, I'm not spending a lot of time in the gym. I actually eat bigger meals less frequently, and I feel really great. That's what works best for me in my life right now. Okay, so let's say I'm going to do 4 meals. Okay, 3 big meals and 1 smaller meal, my snacky snack. Okay. Then step number 2 is going to be breaking up evenly your nutrition goals amongst all meals. This is going to really simplify hitting your goals at the end of the day. Okay, so let's say we're going to say Jenny. Okay, Jenny has the goal of she needs to be eating about 2,300 calories every single day. That's what her goal is right now. Okay, she also has the goal of protein, which is 145 grams of protein every single day. And she also has 800 grams of fruits and vegetables. That's something that her and her coach are working on. Now, your goals can be completely different. Again, there's more than one way to skin the cat. We do have some people that are focusing on macros. We have some people that are focusing on just calories. We have some people that are just focusing on protein and fruits and vegetables. We also have some people that are focusing on just complete meals. It's whatever their expert, like where they're at in terms of experience, how they want to track their goals and their lifestyle. It's all context driven. But whatever your goals that you have that you're working on, sorry, my bangs are all messed up. I'm trying to fix them because it's bothering me. Okay, we're back on track. Okay. All you got to do is start dividing them amongst how many times that you eat in a day. Okay. Keeping it nice and simple. So for example, meal number one, okay, 2, 3, and 4, they're all going to have 550 to 600 calories because we did divided 2,300 divided by 4, 575. Okay. So if I want to keep it nice and simple, I will just divide it by 4. Now, let's say that my goals, I know for a fact I'm on the go on meal number 3. That's usually my snacky snack. So I know for a fact that I can't eat 550 to 600 calories during that time. So then what you're going to do is establish how many calories that you want to eat during that time. What is your snacky snack? How many calories that you want to be eating? And then from there, evenly disperse the remaining amount of calories at the other ones. Okay. But if you're looking for something super simple, it makes it stupid easy for you to hit your goals at the end of the day mindlessly. You're like, I want it to be as mindless as possible. I would suggest just evenly dispersing it throughout all of your meals. Okay. Again, mastering the basics before getting a little bit more complex later. Start with just the basics, and then you can start breaking the rules to figure out what works best for you. Okay. Now for protein, this is a really, really easy example of how to hit your protein more consistently. Just evenly dispersing how many grams of protein that you want every single day. And you can take this and write this on a piece of paper, right? This is what typically I do when I'm meal planning. So I'm like, okay, I have meal 1, 2, 3, 4. Here are my nutrition goals. I need to evenly hit this in every single meal. Okay, so how am I going to fill that up? Okay. That's step number 3. Choose your foods. Okay. When you're trying to pick your foods, majority of it, I would say 80% should be single ingredient foods. Okay. So like chicken, broccoli, potatoes, butter, right? Something simple, something that you know that came out of the ground, something that you can get in the produce section, the meat section, high quality dairy products if your stomach can't handle that. I'm a big fan of leaning towards like bakery or supporting local bakeries if you do want to get like pasta or bread, just getting a little bit more into those nutrient dense foods. Okay, we're not necessarily calling them good or bad. We can go into that whole section of like that can build poor relationship with food issues when you start labeling things good or bad or attaching certain emotions to it. But we're just trying to get more single ingredient nutrient dense foods on our plate. Then from there, 20% of that, be some fun foods, 100%. And that's totally okay. Okay. So now a common question that I get from a lot of people is like, okay, I get really confused on what I should be putting on my plate. Like, how do I build a meal? Okay. So here's something that I use to help simplify that. And we're going to restart that. This is a guide that I use with a lot of my clients just starting out, which I'm more than happy to share with you guys. That is not what I wanted to do. There you go. Where is it? Complete meals. There it is. What are complete meals? Okay. So this is a really, really, really simple way of knowing exactly what you should be putting on your plate. Complete meals is basically breaking up your plate very much like this visual here. You got lots of protein, a little bit of fats, good carbs, and then I like to say a little bit more lower calorie veggies because most people on average eat or don't eat enough high fiber, low calorie veggies. So this is one of those great ways to help people lean a little bit more, give them a quantifiable way of doing that is seeing that visual of like, I want lower calorie veggies right there. When you eat proteins, fats, and carbs and get some lower calorie veggies every single time that you eat, what it's going to do is it's naturally going to start improving your body composition because your body's getting key nutrients that it needs in order to thrive and reach whatever goals that you have. Okay. It's also going to work towards a well-balanced diet. If you're somebody that has nutrition goals and at the end of the day, you're either super low on something or super high on something, or just at the end of the day, sometimes have to eat all the food. That might be from lack of structure of making sure that you hit those goals throughout the day. So by just eating complete meals, that allows you to have the same, like help you work towards all those key essential goals that you need the end of the day, rather than trying to play catch up at the end of the day, where most of us are really tired, fatigued from the day or the work or stress, and we all just want to just unwind and just relax. Probably the worst time of the day for us to try to play catch up, because we're more than likely not going to follow through with the things that we need to be doing in order to succeed. So this is another mindless way to help you just get a well-balanced diet, not be stuck with a lot of things at the end of the day. The other things that it does is it also keeps you fuller longer. It increases your energy. It keeps your blood sugar level, especially if you are worried about having energy throughout the day. If you have crashes, if you have cravings just to keep your energy up, if you're somebody that does want to improve blood sugar, complete meals is wonderful for that. And then it also does reduce late night eating and or weekend binging, because a lot of times, especially if you're snacking a lot at night, that could be because you're just not eating enough throughout the day. Your blood sugar drops. And how many times have you guys gotten so hungry that you literally eat everything inside? Because your blood sugar dropped. And so now you're trying to compensate and you're trying to eat everything. And that's why a lot of people, by the end of the day, now they're finally like, oh, I didn't eat anything. Now I'm starving. Or they're doing the restrictive, I just need to eat very, very, very little all day. And then all of a sudden they're just snack monsters at night. If you focus on complete meals, that helps out a ton. Okay. So when you do complete meals, you want to lean towards single ingredient foods. Put some protein, some veggies, healthy carbs, and some fats on your plate. Nice and simple. And then you just want to adjust your portions according to your nutrition goals. So we have our nutrition goals. This is guiding you how to hit those nutrition goals at the end of the day. How do I build that plate, which helps with meal planning, okay? So the first thing that you always want to start with, because most people suck at it, is protein. Okay, so sticking to single ingredient foods, and this is not limited to this list, it goes far beyond it, but here are some common things that you can do, like eggs, chicken, lean pork, Greek yogurt, lean steak, salmon, turkey, shrimp, ground beef, venison, whatever you have in terms of a high protein source, that's where we're going to put that there. Okay, then from there, let's get some lower calorie veggies, because usually people, we struggle at that sometimes. Okay, so we want to work on that. So think broccolini, zucchini, green beans, romaine, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms, peppers, cucumbers, cauliflower, onions. Have fun with this. Put some color on your plate. Get some variety, because our body thrives off of variety. Then carbs. Let's get some good carbs in there. Some things that taste great, that's going to make us feel great. Carbs is our muscle and our brain's preferred fuel source. So we definitely want to make sure that we're getting it on our plate. So things like apples, oats, bananas, rice, berries, quinoa, oranges, potatoes, winter squash, bread, whatever have it, that's where you put your carbohydrates. And then fats. We want to get some healthy fats. That's for long-term sustainable energy. It helps transport nutrients. It helps regulate our hormones. It's fantastic for us, especially if you lean towards more omega-3 fatty acids, like omega-3 fats. Helps reduce inflammation, reduce achy joints. It's just freaking amazing for you. So we definitely want to make sure that we're getting some fats. Okay, we do want it to be a little bit slightly less, only just because fats have more calories per gram in comparison to protein and carbohydrates. Okay, so you can pack a nutrient and calorie punch in a very small package through fats. So that's why we want to keep it a little bit smaller. One of the reasons why when people just go ham on fat, they're unaware of how much that they're putting in their food. And that can unintentionally put them in a calorie surplus. Here's a fun fact. One of my first coaches that I signed up with, she put me in a calorie deficit and I wasn't losing weight. I was getting very, very frustrated. And we came to the conclusion that the reason why was because I was pouring olive oil on everything because I thought it was healthy, but I never knew how much calories was just in 1 tablespoon alone. And that's neither good or bad, but when we're in a calorie surplus, even if it's with really healthy food, that's when we start gaining weight. And that's why that did derail me. So once I did pay attention and created good portion sizes where I could still get nutrient-dense foods on my plate, but just make sure I'm not also putting myself in a calorie surplus, that's when the magic happened. So I still use olive oil. I'm just a little bit more, I'm just pay a little bit more attention on how much I'm putting on my plate when I do that, just to be safe. Okay. And then from there, I always suggest this because a lot of people are like, oh, that's so simple. Put some bomb seasoning and sauces on top of it. It can make it taste so good, it's not even funny. And the wonderful thing is that we live in the day and age that there are so many different sauces and seasonings out there to make our food taste amazing and spice it up and get us a lot of variety. So there's so many different seasonings. Salt and pepper is a really great one. Garlic salt is my absolute go-to. Paprika, cumin, chili powder, Italian seasoning, taco seasoning. Mrs. Dash just has a whole line if you're being aware of sodium intake. Trader Joe's whole like seasoning thing, just freaking phenomenal. Like if you've ever been to the Trader Joe's, I'm just like trying to pick up every single one because they're all bomb, they're all on point, and they just make your food taste really, really great. You can also do low calorie sauces. There's soy sauce, hot sauce, barbecue sauce, ketchup, teriyaki, vinegar, like salsa, pico de gallo. There's garnishes. There's so many different things that you can add onto your food that just makes it taste so flavorful that doesn't pack a calorie punch. You can do that. You don't have to eat everything super boring. Otherwise, we'd never do it. It sucks, right? So I encourage you to add some flavor. I encourage you to add variety too. It's so good for you. Eating the same thing when you're creating your meal plan is not good for you mentally or physically. Your body needs different nutrients. It needs variety. It needs different colors. It needs different types of nutrient profiles in your body over a period of time. That's why leaning into seasonal fruits and vegetables is really good for you, right? But also mentally, we can all agree if we eat the same thing over and over again, not so great. And fun fact, you can actually create food aversions by eating the same thing over and over again because your body starts actually attacking to those things because you're having too much of it. So that's why when bodybuilders eat so much chicken, they start throwing up. It's because literally their body's attacking it. That's what creates a food aversion because they're eating the same thing over and over again. The body needs variety. So it's not good for you to eat the same things over and over again. Okay. And here's some examples of this. Okay. So breakfast, eggs, olive oil, bell peppers, onions, and spinach as the low calorie vegetables, and then toast. Okay. Lunch can be flank steak. So good cut. Very, very good. Another really great cut is the butcher's cut or the hanger cut. If you've ever heard of that, super, super good. You can saute things in butter or you can add butter on top of it. You can have asparagus, like air fried asparagus, or you can saute it in the butter, and then yellow potatoes, right? You can make homemade mashed potatoes, or you can literally just like bake a potato in the oven really fast, throw it in the air fryer, maybe just nuke it really fast if you're in a hurry. You can add that as a lunch. Dinner can be wild caught salmon, some pesto as your fat, broccolini as your low calorie veggie, and then some rice on the side as your carb. And then a snack, my favorite snack is super, super simple. It's just a Greek yogurt bowl, adding some Greek yogurt, some nut butter, berries, and granola on top of it. And for your low calorie vegetable, you can do like some carrots on the side, just to make sure that you're getting a good, well-rounded meal that's going to keep you satiated. You're going to get the nutrients you need very easily. It's clear cut and simple. And by the end of the day, you know that you're not going to be stuck with a bunch of things that you need to be catching up on. Okay. So those are some examples. From there, once we understand what foods that we're going to choose, we're going to be writing that down. It's like, okay, great. So meal number one, I'm feeling like I want some eggs for sure. I love eggs, one of the most nutrient dense foods that you can eat, mainly just because of the yolk. Okay. Eat the yolk, please. Okay. And then from there, eggs typically are pretty high in fat with the yolks. So I'm going to just let that cover my fat. I am going to use some olive oil spray, but it's not enough unless I'm going like for like 10 seconds. I'm probably not going to track it because I usually do about 2 seconds just to coat it. That's not going to make a huge difference. And then from there, carbs and fruits and vegetable source. So I'm going to do apples and carrots. Okay. So I'm going to do like 4 eggs, a big old apple the size of my face, and a handful of carrots. Super simple. Not going to be super complicated. I usually keep it really simple in the morning because I'm usually really busy in the morning. I'm usually on the go. I don't have like an hour to sit down and cook my food and sit down and eat it and drink my coffee. It's usually on the go, which is most people. So I keep it nice and simple. The meal number 2 is usually something simple that I can keep in a container because I'm on the go. So it's going to be, my protein source is going to be my Greek yogurt. My carb source is going to be blueberries. I can also add granola. I can add honey on top of it if I want to add more carbohydrates to it. My fat source is going to be almond butter. But I've also been doing chia seeds too. Those are really good for you, and they give the Greek yogurt a little bit of a crunch that I like. And then I can also add some granola on there as my carb source. There you go. And I can easily put that in a container with a lid. I don't need to like heat that up in the day. I can just pull that out and eat it as it is. Overnight oats is another really great one. Sammy's is another really great one if you're on the go. And then meal number 3 is going to be like a dinner type of thing, right? Protein source is going to be a steak. Your girl loves steak. I'm from Nebraska, right? Then from there, carbs and fruits and vegetable source is going to be potatoes and broccolini. And my fat source is going to be olive oil, keeping it nice and simple. Okay. And then meal number 4, okay, is probably going to be a little bit of a snack. Looks like a smoothie. So I'm going to use protein powder as my pure protein source. I'm going to use carbs and fat. So it's going to be banana and frozen strawberries and frozen spinach, right? And my fat source is going to be frozen avocado. Okay. And that's going to be my smoothie. I'm going to use that as a meal, right? That could be a post-workout shake. That could be a pre-workout shake. It could be like, hey, I'm really freaking busy and I need an easy option. There you go, right? So step number 4 is going to be plugging that into your tracking app if you are using a tracking app, okay? So when you plug those options in your tracking app, now this is time to adapt and adjust your portion sizes according to your goals. Okay, so let's say meal number 1, I'm putting in, what did I have for meal number 1? Eggs, apples, and carrots, okay? But I wanted to hit 550 to 600 calories, or like for 35 to 40 grams of protein for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add these in here until I hit the protein and the calorie goal and the fruits and vegetable goal there. That's where I can make those adjustments and figure out what are my portion sizes. How much should I be putting on my plate? I know what, but how much? So according to your goals, that's where you figure that out. You start plugging and playing in the app, okay? And that's when you can make adjustments. So for example, if 3 eggs is only, I think 4 eggs is 25 grams of protein, and you still need like 5 to 10 grams more, right? I think it was like 35 to 40, so like 10 to 15 grams more. Okay, great. Can you add in chicken sausages? Okay, great. There you go. Or maybe it's simply adding another egg to it. Or it's as simple as adding egg whites to it. Okay, for example, another one is like, okay, I'm planning this out and I'm trying to hit my protein goal of like 35 to 40 grams. And I put in 3 ounces of sirloin steak in there, and it's only bringing me up to, let's say 25, 30. So I need additional one. Put 4 to 5 ounces on your plate. Just simply increase that portion that you need on your plate. And it's super simple. You don't necessarily need to overcomplicate things. Putting it down there gives you clear transparency of what you need to be putting on your plate when you're trying to hit your goals. Okay. And then step number 5, that's when you start creating your grocery list to get to cooking. Okay. Once you understand what you are going to be doing in terms of your goals, what meals that you're going to be eating, how much you're going to be needing for each one, that's when you start creating the grocery list, not before. Because if you have lack of understanding, right, of what you need and how much, and now you go grocery shopping and now you're trying to create a meal plan off of that, it's a lot of lack of planning. Okay. And a lot of times we feel overwhelmed with things. And I say this with the nicest and most loving heart in the world. It's from lack of preparedness. Okay. In order to make sure that things are simple and we create freedom, we need awareness, we need preparedness, we need structure. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but structure equals freedom. Just like I want financial freedom, okay, structure. You need a budget. You need to make sure that you're being smart with your money. You need a game plan long term. You need that structure. You need that awareness. It's the same thing here. A lot of times people are not necessarily looking for it to be easy. They're looking for clarity. They're looking for information. And when you are in that situation, that means sitting down and planning things out. Ooh, and let me tell you this, okay? When you do that, let me tell you this, okay? A lot of times people are like, oh, I have to sit down and I have to plan things out. Do you know how fast I can meal prep something for a whole week now? Literally give me about to plan out a whole week, make a grocery list, go grocery shopping, print that all out, probably 2 hours. Even less now because I meal plan everything and I have it delivered to me, just because it's actually cheaper that way for me and where I'm at in the city. It's actually way cheaper for me to do that. Okay. And when I have it delivered to me, now I know exactly what I'm going to be eating. I start making it, I start putting it in bowls and I put it away. I don't have to go grocery shopping during the week. I don't have to be in the whole, oh, I have no food, so now I have to go to the grocery store again or be in lines and spending more money than I was intending to spend because going out to eat is very expensive now, right? I don't have to cook or clean throughout the week. I don't have to worry about like what I'm going to be eating or feeling overwhelmed and sitting down trying to plan out a whole day every single day. Like so much time and effort is now off my plate. And I save a lot of money too, because I took a little bit of time each week to know what specifically I am going to make for the week. Now, I will say this again, the basics, but sometimes meal planning the same thing every single day for a whole week may not work for some people, right? Some people can go like, hey, like I can go about 3 to 4 days, but then I get bored and I need to do it. Okay, great. Then from there, meal plan the first 3 to 4 days, meal plan the next couple days. Okay. Then figure out how much you need and then adapt and adjust there. There's some people that have more time in their hands and they would prefer to meal plan maybe twice a week. Okay. I also know that there's some people that will meal plan just breakfast and lunch and their snack, and they'll come home and make their dinner with their family, which is 100% doable. There's no right or wrong answers. There's multiple ways to skin the cat. But when we have a more structure to start with, then that's when we can start breaking the rules and figure out what works best for you. So everything that I explained here, please understand that that is not necessarily set in stone, right? That's just a really good guideline to start with to help you build a solid foundation. And that's when you start breaking the rules after that. So I just want to make sure that I'm saying that before we move on to the grocery list. Just let me see if I can find that really fast. Okay, cool. Awesome. Share my screen. There you go. Okay, so here's some meal plan prepping tips that we can share really fast. First thing, I was just talking about this, is plan it out, right? Sitting down, planning it out actually saves you a lot of time, money, and brain power in the long run. Keep it really, really simple, like I said before, especially when you're first starting out. And then that's when you can get fancy with it as you get into it. Make sure that you're doing complete meals. You can also do mixing and matching. Okay. Another way to do this is some people just don't like to make just meals. Sometimes people just want to make certain, like, I want 4 different protein sources. I want 3 to 4 different carb sources. I want 3 to 4 different fat sources. And I want 3 to 4 different, like, low calorie veggie sources. Okay. And then from there, they just do that and they mix and match. I typically like doing that too, right? I don't like, I sometimes will have my meals planned out. I sometimes just want to mix and match. It just depends on my mood and how I want to do things or how busy I am. So it's nice to know both of those methods as well. Make sure that you're spicing things up with sauces and seasonings, and just make sure that you're adding variety as well. Okay. So here is a food planner cheat sheet that I created as well, especially if you want to do like mix and match. So our protein sources can be eggs, beef, chicken, and Greek yogurt, veggies, broccoli, spinach, frozen cauliflower, romaine lettuce, carbs, frozen banana, blueberries, potatoes, white rice, fats, olive oil, avocado. I put avocado on there twice. I don't know. Don't ask me. And miscellaneous, barbecue sauce, Bolthouse Ranch. That's low-calorie Greek yogurt dressing that you can use that doesn't break the calorie bank. Everything but the Trader Joe's seasonings, cilantro, coconut aminos, and then built protein bars as a snacky snack if you need it. Okay. Right. Then from there, that's about it. That's what we had for there. Okay. So with that being said, this is where we're going to open up for Q&A. Now that we went over the basics, let's open up for Q&A of what did help, what questions that you guys have, so I can make it a little bit easier for you guys to get started with this. So who's got questions? And feel free to mute yourself. I actually prefer that. Does anybody have any questions from there? Brittany, I see your puppy. That's so cute. All right, beautiful. So here are some things that I am going to share with you guys. And if you are watching this in the replay, I'm going to share it with links in the caption. Okay, so if you're in this meeting and you want to grab it now, I'm going to share with you the guide that I was just sharing on here. So that way you can take it home. You can use this as an example. There's so much information on this, it's not even funny. It's about 60 pages long of information on like how to track, how to meal plan, like all these different things, establishing your goals, all these different things. So I highly suggest taking a look at this if you haven't. This is something that I use with my own personal clients when I get them started. Okay, so there's that guide right there. And then I also have a video that I made a while back, but it still applies. I still do the same thing. Like I'm not going to try to fix something that ain't broken. Um, of me meal planning and meal prepping as well. Let me see. If I can find it. Oh, we're about to find it. I almost got it. Hold on. Hang in with me. There we go. I found it. Boom. Use this video. So if you're a little bit more visual, also on Instagram, I share a lot of my food, like a lot of it. So if you're ever looking for different ideas, I usually keep it really simple. I really just follow this. Like I don't overcomplicate things. I think that food can still taste great. Of course, Nicole, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Put more nutrient-dense foods on your plate. Have fun with it. Get variety. I think that's something that we need to remind ourselves as well, is that this isn't supposed to be super complicated. This isn't supposed to be miserable. You're not supposed to be eating the same thing. You're not supposed to be feeling restricted. You want to lean more towards whole nutrient dense foods, but make sure you're sprinkling in fun. Planning things out is not your enemy. It's actually what you need to make it very simple and save you a lot of time, money, and effort in the long run. So I definitely lean into it. Yes, it is a new skill. Yes, you will struggle at first, just like any new skill, just like if your kid was learning how to play the piano or learning how to ride a bike, but that's how you learn. It's part of the process. Okay, so lean into it, keep doing some trial and error. If you ever have any questions, that's what we're here for. Ask questions. We're here to happy to help, right? To make sure that this works best for you. Nicole, this is a great reminder for me. Thank you, babes. Of course, Nicole. Of course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have any other questions, okay, I'm more than happy to let you get back on with your day. I'm hoping that this was super helpful for you guys, give you some clarity, and make it super easy. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Just DM me, right? And then these links that I shared right here, I'm going to be sharing in the replay for this too in the captions. So there you go. Make sure I have these for me because these leave once we get out of here, which by the way, if you haven't copied these links yet, they leave as soon as I end this meeting. So good, just see it, just out. I'm really, really happy that it helped. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great night. I'm gonna go unwind at the end of the day, but you'll have a great night. Let me know if you need anything. Talk to you guys later. Bye.